Have you ever wondered what it's like to live in Atlanta's Midtown? You know, moving to a new city can be quite vexing. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the top pros and cons for living in Atlanta's Midtown neighborhood, sharing not only what is good, but also those things you really need to watch out for. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you get some great value out of it. And if you do, please consider liking the video and sharing it with one of your friends. Hey there, I'm Bru Krebs and I've lived in Atlanta's Midtown neighborhood for almost 27 years, and I'm thrilled to be able to share with you my expertise on both the pros and the cons of living in this exciting neighborhood. As someone who's spent time living in Atlanta's Midtown neighborhood, I can tell you that it is a vibrant and dynamic place to call home. However, like any neighborhood, it has a fair share of advantages and disadvantages. And in this video, I'll share with you the top pros and cons of living in Atlanta's Midtown. And be sure that you stay tuned to the end of the video to find out what the most important cons are, because you're gonna wanna know those to make the best decision on whether you wanna live in Atlanta's Midtown or not. And as always, if you have any questions as we go throughout the video, please don't hesitate to comment those below and I'll be more than happy to get you the answers. So let's start at the top with the pros. Central location. Midtown is located in the heart of Atlanta, making easy access for everything the city has to offer. Next, there's that public transportation. Midtown has excellent public transportation options, including MARTA trains, buses, and so much more, making it even easier to get around without a car. Midtown also has fantastic walkability. It's one of the most walkable neighborhoods in Atlanta, with sidewalks, crosswalks, bike lanes, and all kinds of parks and recreation all throughout the area. It even has great cultural attractions. Midtown is home to some of Atlanta's best cultural attractions, including the High Museum of Art, the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, the Alliance Theater, the fabulous Fox Theater, and so many other great areas to entertain and enjoy yourselves. Midtown is also very diverse. It's one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Atlanta and in the whole United States. With residents from all walks of life, you'll find something for everyone. There are also a tremendous amount of employment opportunities in Midtown. It's home to many of Atlanta's major employers, including Coca-Cola, AT&T, the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, and so many great Fortune 500 companies. The opportunities for employment in Atlanta's Midtown are truly limitless. You can't talk about Atlanta's Midtown without talking about its parks and green spaces. There are green spaces scattered all throughout the Midtown neighborhood, and great places like Piedmont Park and the East Side Beltline Trail, which make it one of the most walkable and enjoyable neighborhoods in the area. Great for picnics, recreational facilities, riding your bike, spinning on your skateboards, and really doing just about anything that you want to do. Next, of course, one of the great pros of Midtown is its nightlife. It's known for its vibrant nightlife with a variety of bars, restaurants, and entertainment options. You've got local gay bars, you've got great dance bars, you've got hookah bars, you've got fantastic restaurants, you've got Colony Square, and really so many fantastic spots all throughout Midtown to enjoy the fantastic lifestyle that it has to offer. Midtown also has some great educational opportunities. It's home to Atlanta's campus of Savannah College of Art and Design, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, and so many fantastic opportunities to learn all throughout the area. If you're considering education, Midtown might be right at the top of your list. Adding to that, another pro in Midtown is architecture. Midtown is known for its historic and its modern architecture, including that iconic Bank of America Plaza. It's also super bike friendly. It's one of Atlanta's most bike friendly neighborhoods with bike lanes and trails all throughout the area, making it easy to get around, commute, or just enjoy life. Another pro for Midtown are those community events. Midtown hosts a variety of community events throughout the year, including the Atlanta Pride Festival, the Midtown Music Festival, the Dogwood Festival, the Argentinian Food Festival, and just really so many more. If you like festivals and entertainment, Midtown is absolutely the mecca of the places to go in Georgia and in the city of Atlanta. Next in Midtown, you can't talk about Midtown without talking about those sports. Whether it's Bobby Dodd Stadium, whether it's where the Atlanta Falcons or the Atlanta United play, there are so many opportunities to see some of the best sports teams in the world just within a couple of blocks, and it's all right here in Atlanta's Midtown neighborhood. Another pro for Atlanta's Midtown though is health and wellness. Midtown is home to several fitness centers and wellness studios, making it super easy to stay healthy and active. And it has some of the most innovative new types of technologies like the red saunas and the med spas that provide special IV treatments and facial treatments, as well as massages, and really some of the best ways to keep yourself healthy. And don't forget, you got all those walking opportunities too. So health and fitness is truly a staple of the Midtown community. Midtown is also a tech hub. We have great campuses here for Google, Microsoft, and some of the greatest technology companies in the world, making it an awesome opportunity and a hub for innovation and entrepreneurship. Of course, accessibility to Midtown is also another incredibly important part. You've got easy accessibility to the airport through MARTA. You've got easy accessibility to I-95 and 75, as well as I-20. You've even got easy access to the Beltline and the parks that go all the way around the city. So accessibility is really an incredible pro of living in the Midtown neighborhood. And of course, there is that employment diversity. Whether it's small businesses or giant corporations, Midtown has a diverse range of employment opportunities, from hospitality to retail to finance to technology, and even to those little mom and pop shops. If you're looking for a job, Atlanta's Midtown might very well be the perfect place to start. Another pro for living in Midtown is that community spirit. Midtown has a strong sense of community, with residents taking pride in the neighborhood and working to improve it. We've got things like the Midtown Alliance, who focuses on improving the neighborhood every single day. We've got great venues and all kinds of things that really come together where the neighbors can come out and enjoy themselves, meet each other, feel safe, bring their dog, and really just enjoy life in so many different ways. And my last pro today, before we jump into the cons for Midtown's Atlanta neighborhood, is its cost of living. Compared to other major cities, the cost of living in Midtown is relatively affordable, making it an attractive option for young professionals and families. Let's face it, if you live in a city like Seattle or New York or Los Angeles, those prices per square foot and the daily costs are absolutely incredible. And what you can get here in Atlanta is about 10 times what you can get in those neighborhoods. And if you live or work from home using technology, it makes it the perfect opportunity to live in a wonderful city and neighborhood while still being able to earn a fantastic living. Plus, those neighborhood industries also pay very well, so you can make some really good money working right here in Atlanta too. But now let's look at those cons. The first con for Atlanta is traffic. Like many urban areas, traffic can be a problem in Midtown Atlanta, particularly during rush hour. The roads get full, they get jammed, people get angry and honk their horn, the traffic on the interstates gets locked up, and it can be a bit of a challenge. Knowing how to work around those can be a great benefit for you, but you can often be frustrated with that traffic in the Midtown and the Buckhead and lower city areas. So be careful. If traffic is a problem for you, you might not want to be in the Atlanta Midtown area. While I said the cost of living was a pro earlier, it's also a little bit of a con, because Midtown's Atlanta neighborhood is relatively expensive relative to the other neighborhoods in the city. You can go out just a little bit further and the cost of living can be particularly lower. Of course, you don't get the city services and all the excitement living in those other areas like you do in Midtown. And as I always say, it's all relative when you're looking at the price and the value of real estate. Another con for living in Midtown though can be the noise. It can get kind of noisy with the bars and restaurants and all the festivities that are going on. And sometimes they go on pretty late. So if you want something that's really nice and quiet and private, Midtown might not be the perfect place for you. Midtown also has a lot of homelessness. Like many urban areas, Midtown Atlanta has a significant homeless population. You'll see people sleeping on the streets. You'll see people sleeping under the bridges. You'll see them at the intersections begging for money with their signs and wanting you to help them out. There actually is fairly a lack of community centers for the homeless folks, and a lot of them are mentally unstable and out of their element, and often on drugs and stuff like that. So you have to kind of watch out for the homeless population. It has grown to be a big problem in the area, but Atlanta City Police and the mayor are working very, very hard to correct and improve that every single day. But it is definitely something that you want to consider. Midtown also, it has a little bit of a pollution problem. The air quality in Midtown can be very poor at times, particularly during those summer months when you're not seeing a lot of airflow. You consider it gets trapped within all the buildings, and sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming. Another con for Midtown though can be those crowds. It can get particularly crowded, especially during the peak tourist seasons and when they have those events like Music Midtown and the Dogwood Festival and stuff like that. You'll see a lot of people pour into the Midtown neighborhoods. They may not know how to drive, they may not know how to park, where to park, and those kind of things, and that can be fairly frustrating. The next con I have on my list for Midtown is crime. While Midtown Atlanta is generally a safe neighborhood, there is still some crime, particularly property crime, and you'll often find that elements that come in and out of the city that maybe aren't part of Atlanta that create a good bit of this crime. So be on the lookout and be vigilant. Don't leave things in your car, leave it nice and clean, lock your house when you leave, and be prepared for those types of crime because they very well may be prevalent in the neighborhood, and there's a lot you can do to avoid it. Now, I touched on this a little bit earlier, but traffic is one of the biggest challenges of living in Midtown Atlanta. Its traffic is often very congested, especially during those peak hours, and it can make it very difficult to get around. Like I say, during those events, during high traffic areas, with all the construction going on, it can be a little challenging getting around Midtown Atlanta, so keep that in mind if you're out and about. Prepare to be delayed and be ready. If you know what you're ready to do and you really have it, kind of figured out and planned out, you'll be okay. Public transportation can also be a con. While it is available in the Midtown area, it can somewhat be unreliable or overcrowded. This can make it difficult for residents who rely on that public transportation to get around on a daily basis. So be sure that you're prepared. You're probably gonna need a car in the city of Atlanta, and you can use those public transportations when they're most convenient for you. They are great for things like going to the Mercedes Stadium to see a Atlanta United game, or getting to the airport, or just simple little things like that. If you're thinking about for everyday travel, getting to and from work, getting to different sections of the city, the public transportation may not be the perfect situation for you. And while Midtown is working on this every single day, there is a limited amount of green space. With all the big buildings throughout the city, and while there are several little parks in the area, Midtown is relatively dense and it doesn't offer a whole lot of green spaces like some of the other areas of the cities. And it can make it a little bit more difficult to get outdoors and relax, maybe even to take your dog for a long walk. There may not just be the perfect spots and easy places to sit down and enjoy those outdoor green spaces in Midtown. And sort of building on that, really, there are some limited outdoor activities in the Midtown area. While there are many cultural and entertainment options in Midtown, there are fewer opportunities for those outdoor activities like hiking, fishing, or camping. It can be a little bit challenging if you really love those outdoors and doing those natural things, because there aren't quite as many spaces to do that. You may have to drive around the city to find some of the more bigger nature preserves and areas where walking, hiking, and those types of things might be more beneficial to you. And of course, you can't talk about Midtown without talking about its limited number of parking for visitors. Parking can often be very difficult for its residents, but it can be even more challenging for visitors to the neighborhood. This can make it difficult for residents to host friends or family members who are visiting from out of town. Of course, Midtown has become much more limited in its amount of space over the years too. This is a big con because Midtown Atlanta is densely populated, which means many residents live in small apartments or condos, and this can be a challenge for those who need more space or who enjoy having a yard or an outdoor space. And adding to that, there are some very limited amounts of affordable housing options. While there are many high-end apartments and condos in Midtown Atlanta, there are fewer affordable housing options for those on a tighter budget. This really can make it difficult for some people to find housing in the Midtown neighborhood. And of course, going along with that, there are a limited amount of grocery store options. While there are several grocery stores in Midtown, there are fewer options than in most other neighborhoods. This can make it difficult for residents to find the products they need or to shop from groceries on a budget. And I know I mentioned that parking before, but really parking is another major con in Atlanta, especially during big events. Midtown is a popular area for events like those festivals, concerts, and parades. And while these events can be super fun, they can also make parking even more difficult, not only for the residents, but for their guests. Midtown has some seriously limited space for its pets. Most of its apartments and condos don't have much adequate space for pets to enjoy their lives. You'll typically have to walk outside to one of the dog parks, Piedmont Park, or somewhere else to share your life with your favorite furry friend. You know, I hope this video has given you some great insights into both the pros and cons of life in Atlanta's Midtown. As a real estate expert in Midtown for almost 20 plus years, I've had the opportunity to see so many things change in the neighborhood, and I'm always happy to share that information with you. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime by texting or calling me, or comment below the video, and I'll be happy to get you the answers. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and click that little bell button to be notified when those new videos come out. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I'd love to connect with you. You know, I get called all the time looking for people to buy homes in Midtown, Old Fourth Ward, Virginia Highlands, West Midtown, Inman Park, Buckhead, and really all those areas that are inside the perimeter of Atlanta. And if you have any questions about real estate or you just want to know what's going on in these areas, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I love being your expert in this area. It really is my pleasure and privilege to be able to serve you in the Atlanta real estate market, and I am so grateful that you're able to watch my video today. Thank you so much. And if you did like this video, please consider sharing it with a friend. And if you did like it, I know you're gonna love the next one that pops up on your screen.